actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure that I got something that my feet felt good in, not somebody else's feet. I love the fact that I can wear these arch supports in all my shoes. I have boots, I have cowboy boots, I have running shoes, I have walking shoes, I have flat shoes, I have heels. It makes me so happy. If you ask my husband, he will crack up because there is no store I would rather go in than a shoe store. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Hi, this is Carol Kennedy with Camo Country, and we've been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for many years, and we appreciate Blue Water Broadcasting helping promote Camo Country.
Blue Water Broadcasting is the #1 most listened to radio group in the River region. Find out how to put this reach to work for your business. Call us to find out how we can help. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Giveaways galore all summer long. Diamond Days Diamond Jewelry Giveaway and TV Tuesdays TV Giveaway with $185,000 in free play at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino, off I-85 exit 22, Shorter, Alabama.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
It's an emergency. Fire up the jet. We've got to get to Paris so the polar bears don't sweat. It's plain to see. It's colder till it's hotter. Obama's beach house is almost underwater. Shocking all, we should make a law. Sucking on a paper straw buys us time. Climate change is real. Come on, baby. Climate change is real. Who's gonna save me? I'm not a genius, but the science always proves it. Climate change is real. Stupid, 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 stupid. Thank God for Canada. We can all relax. They're killing our emissions with their carbon tax. If we dim the sun, we can reach our goal with people eating vegan and a ban on coal. Call the View if they only knew. It's an inconvenient truth, not a lie. Climate change is real. Come on, baby. Climate change is real. Who's gonna save me? I'm not a genius, but the science always proves it. Climate change is real. Stupid, 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 stupid. What would China do if the people pled? How dare you, like some Swedish kid said? 10 more years, we'll all be dead. Then 10 more years till they say it again. Climate change is real. Come on, baby. Climate change is real. Who's gonna save me? I'm not a genius, but the science always proves it. Climate change is real. Climate change is real. The Green New Deal is the Green New Scam, an unsustainable plan.
for a smoke break.
David drops in Monday and Thursday on Happy Hour. Master Thespian steals Tuesday spotlight on Happy Hour. Eddie stops by on Friday with some snacks on Happy Hour. Laugh a little louder while the whole world's hanging out in the chat. Will change your world on Happy Hour. On Happy Hour. Oh, on Happy Hour. On Happy Hour.
On Happy Hour.
Calling all stations. Clear the air lanes. Clear all air lanes for the big broadcast.
It is the big broadcast. Happy Hour. News Talk 93.1 FM. WACB bigger and better on Monday because Tom Moore is sidekicking with us and joining us at 3:30 for the Idiocracy. David Blackman.
And here they are.
And that always entertaining, engaging, and informative Idiocracy venture is brought to you by our friends at Montgomery Paint and Body. Our thanks to Donnie and Brandon Turner for helping us bring you that time well spent every Monday and Thursday. Very grateful for the support. Very grateful you are here.
Happy to be here. It's another Monday.
You seem like you have something that you want to say. Is there, you got news? You got anything?
No, it's daughter went back to school today, so MPS is back in school. So
Yeah.
it was quiet around the house this morning. I miss having the rugrat around.
I've been doing this a long time. And when you do morning radio, it's especially tough in the summer because everybody's routine changes. And you could tell, there's just not as many people early on. Looks like we have a call.
Early?
Yeah. Good
Jeff
morning.
Mallinson.
Jeff Mallinson from Georgia Floors Direct. How glad I am to hear from you, buddy.
Good to hear from you guys. I was just thinking, Greg, I need to come over there and I can probably do it this week because I think you and I are going to be getting together. But I need to measure that studio for some blinds or shades or shutters or something like that.
I have a project for you at the house, too, which I know you're a very busy man, and there are a lot of situations you handle that are much bigger than mine, but I got a room that needs the Jeff Mallinson consultation.
That's what I always love. I go out to job sites, and people are like, okay, well, what do you do for Georgia Floors Direct? And I said, well, just about everything. And they find out I'm the owner. They're like, oh, the owner's coming out here? And I'm like, hey, I am a full-on working owner, and I love doing this. I've done it since I was 19 years old, and it's always a pleasure to be able to go out and spend time with customers. And so you are in that category, Greg. Of course, you're part of our family. So,
well, you are also a great consultant for ideas. I mean, for people especially that know they need to do something with a room, and that's the situation I'm dealing with. You can look at it, assess it, make suggestions, and generally complete all the improvements at a very reasonable price. That's the best part.
Yeah, well, and that's a good thing about having done this for 34 years is that you've seen a lot, you've experienced a lot, you've seen projects that have turned out great, you've seen projects that could have been tweaked a little bit, so you're able to pass on those years of experience to the customer. And Chip, we call him. I started working for him when I got in this business 34 years ago. He was my boss. He's been doing it 50 years. Don Davenport's been doing it close to 60 years. My merry band of lawyers, they've all been in it quite a while. Jonathan Hibbert's been in it,
Love Jonathan. Jonathan's great. He was my neighbor for a while. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. They're all great. But, that's what comes with a store that has a lot of experience. We were going to put our combined experience on one of our commercials, and we all just kind of looked at each other and said, no, that sounds ridiculous. Of course, we had McAdams there at the time, and so it was like 700 years of experience.
Wow.
But, yeah, no, we love doing this, and we get the opportunity to go into people's businesses, people's homes, people's churches, and we get to make suggestions and help them find a flooring or window covering or countertop that fits their budget and looks great in their space. So it's always a lot of fun, and we never, ever take it for granted.
Well, friends, these are the people that consumers voted best in flooring, window coverings, kitchen and bath. You can improve your home so many different ways with Georgia Floors Direct on the Boulevard across from Lowe's, a flooring destination since 1969.
Yep, we've been there, and I plan on being there for another 69 years until the Lord comes back and gets us. So y'all come see us. We'll take good care of you.
That gives us something in common because I plan on being here another 69 years too.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't know if our listeners feel that. Oh, no. See, there's always somebody that's not happy, but. Buddy, it's good to talk to you, and we will talk to you again soon. Glad you're available for a chat.
Look forward to hearing from y'all.
Take care. All right. At 13 minutes after 3 o'clock, first day of school for folks commuting out of Prattville was an absolute nightmare. It was gridlock coming into downtown because of a couple of situations. Tell you what we can do right now at 3:13, check in with Skipper, see if there's anything you need to know about before the afternoon drive gets real hooked.
Well, we are looking pretty good around the area right now. We're just busy. Interstates, boulevards. We had some accidents earlier this morning. Those are beginning to clear or have cleared. And overall, looking pretty good. Please be safe. We will keep you updated. If you have less than perfect credit, McKenna Nissan may have just the plan for you. Talk to David Martin. He'll do everything possible to have you driving today. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery, Skywatch Traffic.
Have you been keeping up with the insanity in the WNBA?
I didn't want to spoil it, but I am going to officially announce my...
I've already beat you to it.
You're joining as well.
I'm
on the draft. I'm going first round.
I'm in the draft too. You probably will. I'll probably be a late round pick, but
when it comes to a power forward, I identify as a female, and I'm ready.
Yeah, me too.
Let's go earn that $100,000 a year traveling across the world, showing these girls what we got.
What an absolute nut house.
It's a fishy show.
Yeah, David did a brilliant blog Saturday on what a garbage league it is. And now they painted themselves into a real corner. Well, about the trans thing, stop with the phony men. If they have a penis, they're not a woman. And I don't care how hard you click your heels together. They are not a woman. They don't belong playing in games with women. And it's also a racist league. Soviet, you can clothesline, commit a crime on another player because it's white privilege. Blow it out your ass. That is not acceptable. This whole idea that you can hide behind your race and bully people because you don't like somebody or they're getting more attention than you, grow the F up. I mean, it's really, really. And here's the thing. Who cares? They're making us care about them for all the wrong reasons.
Right.
Not because Caitlin Clark's a phenomenon and as women basketball players go, maybe one of the greatest ever. That's not what everybody's talking about with the WNBA. We're talking about racial attacks on players, just bizarre behavior from the top down.
You ever think any of this is a attention ploy just to get ratings, to get people to watch the sport?
No, I believe they're this stupid.
That is the idiocracy it is.
Exactly. They are the official sport of the idiocracy these days.
I can't see anyone justifying men playing in women's sports. I can't see where there's a basis for that argument. Like, do the women in the NBA, is there any of them that are like, yeah, let's go? There's going to have to be a third league, the tranny league.
Yeah. Go ahead. You want boys that think they're girls to have their own basketball league? I'm sure that'll be a big draw. But they don't belong with the girls in the W. Do you see that Clay Travis said he would put a $10 million bet that the WNBA champion would play the state champion boys basketball, high school boys basketball team. Mm. And he's willing to put $10 million on them not winning. So what are we really talking about here? And I would love to see. So far, I have not heard they're taking...
I would like to see our founding fathers get in the DeLorean and come to 2026. And they're like, really? That's what this world's coming to? We did all of this because men want to play in girls' sports?
You know, the big picture, the midterms coming up. Unfortunately, the management of the war in Iran, I don't know what's going on there now. It sounds like Iran talks like we haven't hurt them one iota. He's got to get the gas prices down. That's got to happen because they are literally, the Democrats are doing everything to hand the midterms to the Republicans because of the rise of the Democratic Socialists.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how anybody can embrace what they're selling. Why are the Republicans not marking? They've got $400 million. Trump has a $400 million super PAC. The Democrats are $15 million in debt. Oh. So there may be enthusiasm and they may be polling well, but nobody wants to put any money on them. So it's just frustrating. They're running, the Islamo-fascist in Michigan. They're always changing their tune, too. It's like that Hong Wong, whatever she is in Wisconsin, wants to be governor, hates Thanksgiving. All these old tweets. Oh, and all of a sudden she's changed her mind. It's her favorite holiday. She loves Thanksgiving. Be as old schme as it. These people hate by nature. They're miserable. They're big on equality, but the only way to make that happen is to diminish the life of everybody that they affect. They want to seize property, and they're being pretty upfront about it. And now I'm supposed to believe that AOC is going to be the woman that steals the show in 2028. I would like to really laugh at that, but we've got a big population of stupid in this country who don't see her. What has she done? The Green New Deal, what has that done to lower energy? Nothing. It was just another scam to line their pockets. Green New Deal. Anybody listening benefit directly from that? I'd love to know, because I haven't heard any stories like that. We're going to take a quick break here at 3:20 and come right back. Tom Moore, Greg Goodell, and David Blackman in 10 minutes.
Man, everything costs more these days. Yep. That's why we need people like Rhett Marcus. He cut $1.5 billion in taxes.
Wait, $1.5 billion? That's a big deal. Didn't President Trump and Senator Katie Britt endorse him?
Uh-huh, they sure did.
Sounds like Rhett's the right man for Alabama.
I'll be voting for him on August 11th.
Me too.
I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
What if your next sales opportunity wasn't about selling? It was about helping local businesses grow. I'm Jennifer Pestricelli with Blue Water Broadcasting. We combine the power of 7 local radio stations with today's most effective digital marketing solutions, including streaming audio, social media, targeted display, and more. We're looking for an experienced account executive who enjoys building relationships, solving problems, and creating results for clients. If you're self-motivated, thrive on new business, and want unlimited earning potential with a local company, I'd love to hear from you. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Greg Goodell, Tom Moore, The Idiocracy coming up with David Blackman. You weren't with us last week, but of course one of the mesmerizing, couldn't take your eyes off it show was Fauci. And pleading the fifth 111 times or whatever it was. And I'm wondering if the people that you talk about, fascists and the things that he imposed, took away constitutional liberties, couldn't gather with your church, had the cops out there, had the Gestapo out ending horrible super spreader events like church services in cars, him being held accountable. And there's a clip here on that topic with
You were down in Atlanta this past week. This is 1 year since
CBS.
that horrific shooting at CDC headquarters. Officer David Rose was honored this past week. He was killed last year protecting CDC employees from a gunman. And we should note he was a combat veteran, a United States Marine who had just graduated 5 months prior from the police academy. 3 kids left behind. The shooter was motivated by misinformation about the COVID vaccine. That is why he shot over 100 bullets into the windows of the CDC. Is enough being done to counter this kind of misinformation?
I mean, I should start with, I got to talk with Officer Rose's wife a few months back. Well, one of the first things I did is to honor him and his sacrifice in protecting the people that work at the CDC, the amazing people who work at the CDC, was we renamed the street that leads into the CDC after him, and it was a really nice event. I'll tell you, the thing is, I want to focus my attention on Officer Rose because I think that the shooter did was horrific, and I think you can talk about why shooters do things, but really fundamentally.
Well, his father said he was brainwashed about the COVID vaccine and thought it was making him suicidal. That's what
Margaret,
his
the thing is, like to talk about the shooter puts the emphasis on somebody who's. I think we shouldn't be putting our emphasis on.
No, I am on misinformation about.
I think.
See, now this is what misinformation?
The key thing is there's a loss of public trust in public health that happened in part because of a lot of, frankly, even on this network and on other networks, there was a particular single point of view put across during the COVID pandemic about how, that led to things that really did cause harm to people. The school closures is probably the number one thing.
This is not a productive line of claims. We covered COVID in depth on this program like no other Sunday show did.
I'm not blaming you specifically. What I'm saying is, you want to talk about misinformation. The kinds of decisions and the public sort of face of public health during the pandemic led to many people losing trust in public health.
The Trump administration officials.
No, I mean like Biden. So Biden, for instance,
the
censored
pandemic began under the Trump administration.
But look, it's got to be the Trump, right? No. A lot of this crap happened under Joe, along with the 30% inflation that people seem to have forgotten about. Why are prices so high? When the hell do you think they went up? It was when he was president. Inflation was 2.4% when Donald Trump left office. And Joe and the Green New Deal, they come in and now... Just
so we're clear, the Biden administration censored me, right? They sent out direct attacks on people who disagreed on the COVID, on sort of whether the COVID vaccine stopped it.
RFK Jr. called the COVID vaccine the deadliest vaccine ever made. That is misinformation, and we're not being clear about that. And I think that is dangerous. Wouldn't you agree,
Margaret? Because the Biden administration censored people and said, "Look, you can't even talk about COVID vaccine harms." Yeah, and I'm talking about why you have the kind of distrust that's led to the kind of problems that we're talking about earlier in public health. That distrust was not caused by President Trump. It wasn't caused by Bobby. It was caused by a lot of really fundamentally, but often spread by the government itself regarding natural immunity, closure of schools, closures of mask mandates. People lost their jobs because of these vaccine mandates that didn't make any public health sense. So if you want to talk about public trust, you have to embrace that fully, right? You can't just talk about it in a narrow political way.
I'm talking about a shooting at the CDC and an officer you said you just went to honor. That's what I was talking about. You're talking about something else entirely.
I'm going to get sick. But this is what we're up against, okay? They don't want to admit that they were the source of misinformation from Mr. Misinformation himself, Anthony Fauci. It's not even in question anymore. That's what happened. It is 3:26. We're going to check in with Skipper one more time. Got Blue Water News with Sky Mosley, Rich's forecast, and then the Idiocracy with David.
Well, we continue to be busy around the area. Interstates, boulevards, light to moderate afternoon traffic everywhere. We did have an accident earlier on Perry Hill Road right near Beth Manor in that area. Please watch out for emergency vehicles there and keep it here for traffic updates. We'll let you know when any accidents happen. At McKinnon Toyota, they have 3.9% financing on Tacomas at the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKinnon Toyota, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up, Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
News is brought to you by Budget Floors and More, your new best friend.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Much of South Central Alabama starts back to school today, including Montgomery, Elmore, and Macon County schools. More than 25,000 students will be returning to Montgomery Public Schools. MPS is stressing patience during their Share the Road with MPS campaign. Be extra careful when traveling through school zones. Bobby Singleton was elected chairman of the Alabama Democratic Party on Saturday. Singleton defeated incumbent Randy Kelly by a wide margin at the party's organizational meeting in Montgomery. Before the vote, Singleton told committee members the Democrat Party must change some of the ways it operates. Singleton plans to hold listening tours throughout all 67 Alabama counties. Longtime Montgomery restaurant owner Gail Royal has died following an extensive battle with cancer. Gail's Down the Street Cafe announced her passing Saturday on social media. Gail owned and operated Down the Street Cafe on Zelda Road since 1993. Her battle with breast cancer drew tremendous support from the Montgomery community. Gail Royal was 74 years old. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Hardwood, tile, carpet, flooring tools, and installation supplies. Find it all at Budget Floors and More in Montgomery. Big selection, contractor pricing, and personal service you won't find at the big boxes. Across from Publix in Del Reyta and online at budgetfloorsmgm.com.
Lunch should be comforting and done right. At Epicure and Jack's Tavern, their meat and three is scratch made to order, not scooped from a steam table. Real cooking, real portions. And for guests 60 and over, it's just $10.99. It's familiar food, elevated, served with care. Lunch at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Classic Southern comfort, a step above the rest.
Looking for insurance? Or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Rock and Roll Royalty is coming to Montgomery on October 9th. Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs take the stage at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center. As the legendary lead guitarist and co-songwriter for Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Mike Campbell helped create some of rock's most unforgettable songs. October 9th at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster and ImpactOnline.org. Don't miss Mike Campbell and the Dirty Knobs live in Montgomery. The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Let's welcome David.
I'm Jeff Bezos. I've teamed up with my gorgeous wife, Lauren Sanchez, and the slightly less gorgeous Hollywood legend, Leonardo DiCaprio, to save endangered species. At first, I thought these so-called endangered species were brick and mortar retail stores. But it turns out they're animals. Who knew? And imagine my surprise when Leo told me some of these species live in the Amazon. What the what? There's a rainforest that's infringing on my copyright? And so I shall sue the Amazon for hundreds of millions of dollars, and the proceeds will go to saving the endangered species that live in the, well, whatever they'll be forced to rename it. A crime is already taken.
as the 21st century began. Natural selection, the process by which the strongest, the smartest, the fastest reproduced in greater numbers than the rest. A process which had once favored the noblest traits of man now began to favor different traits. A dumbing down. How did this happen? Evolution does not necessarily reward intelligence. With no natural predators to thin the herd, it began to simply reward those who reproduced the most and left the intelligent to become an endangered species.
David Blackman and Greg Budell present Tales of the Idiocracy.
Welcome to Costco. I love you.
Along with our handsome tour guide, Tom Moore, with us this afternoon on Newstalk 93.1 FM. Pardon me, I just got distracted. Joining us from somewhere in Texas, Dallas and vicinity, my favorite, I think America's best and savviest political blogger, Mr. Insight, and an oil and gas industry expert to boot. Family man, has a cat, and is a Dodger fan. David Blackman, great to have you back with us on this Monday afternoon. Some applause for the man.
Happy to be here. Beautiful
What
day.
Weekend you were entertaining me relentlessly, and we'll get to the WNBA, but the big picture story right now is Iran. I would be panicking about the midterms, but the Democrats are doing such a great job of self-immolation that I'm not that freaked out yet. Something's got to give here in this, how it almost, the way Iran is acting out, Tom, contribute if you wish, but my take is it seems like Iran's behaving like they weren't even damaged by any of the stuff we've done to them. We're still a powerful country, and we're going to do what we want. No negotiation. Where does all of this stand? And how did this impact oil prices today?
Well, they've been damaged. There's no doubt about that. Their Navy's at the bottom of the ocean. They have no Air Force. They have very little missile defense system. I guess or air defense systems. I suppose they still have some, but not much. And they've lost thousands and thousands of people, and it's been definitely damaging. Their economy is in a shambles. Tehran is barely functional at this point. But, the country is ruled by uncivilized barbarians who don't care about human life, especially of their own people. And so they cling to power and will gladly kill anyone who tries to rise up in opposition to them. And I don't know what you do about it. You can't negotiate. I think finally, it appears the White House has accepted reality. The president has, that you can't negotiate with these people. There's no negotiated peace to be had with this regime. And so I'm glad it, only took him 6 months or 5 months to get there. He's finally there apparently. And the Iranian regime, despite the demands they put out overnight for a negotiated settlement, is also saying they are not negotiating with the White House and will never agree to a negotiated settlement with the Trump administration. So it's just the wildest stuff I've ever seen. And but I think the proper approach for Trump to take is to shut up about it, as he's done for the last several days, and hopefully will continue to do. Keep the naval blockade in place. Don't let any Iranian oil out onto the open market, or at least as much as you can prevent, and starve them out. I mean, that's the only thing that's available that makes any sense. I think the time for a military invasion to take over Karg Island and the cliffs and the coastline adjacent to Hormuz is long past. That should have happened in April if you were going to do it. And So I think here we are, and this is the best approach, not just for a positive outcome to the thing, but also for the midterm elections. And hopefully President Trump can control his worst impulses and maintain the posture that he's assumed the last several days through November.
Well,
I'm not optimistic he'll be able to do that, by the way, but I'm hoping.
Yeah. Well, how can we not agree with your take on it? Because it isn't a couple of months, it's 6 months. And we've heard about, and we're having great conversations and a lot of optimism and teasing, we're going to have this all worked out and life will go on. Business Insider, by the way, David, says our oil reserves are at their lowest level in 40 years. Is that true?
Well, so I assume they're talking about inventories of oil in tanks and in underground storage. Yes, that's true. There's no question about that. Our strategic petroleum reserve is at its lowest point since the early 1980s, even lower than Joe Biden drew it down in 2022.
It's not good.
No, it's not good. And that aspect of this needs to change. I hope Secretary Wright will put an end to it soon. And our inventories in storage and tank farms around the country is also very low. And we've talked about that several times here on this show over the past month or so. And so far, the industry is, the thing about the oil industry is it's pretty creative and nimble in avoiding major crises related to supply and storage over the decades. And so far, they've been able to avoid any kind of distribution disruptions that everyone was concerned about a month ago. And hopefully that will continue. But the lower these inventories gets, the harder it becomes to avoid disruptions that would cause shortages, literal shortages in parts of the country, even though we're far and away the biggest producer of crude oil on the face of the earth.
That just
bizarre.
can't happen. I mean, that's a disaster.
That would be a disaster, yes. And a political disaster, too.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can applaud the Democrats for doing all the and coming up with the crackpots that they've got running for office, like Hong in Wisconsin and El Sayed.
El Sayed in Michigan and Mamdani in New York, and you can just go down the list, yeah.
And they're disasters. Mamdani is getting his ass booed off everywhere he shows up, except at an event where he's pandering to the freeloaders.
I'm sure, yeah.
The people that put him in office. And now Chicago wants to open city-run grocery stores. Oh, I can't imagine.
Oh, yeah, that'll really work out well, won't it?
Yeah.
Under that idiot that's the mayor there. Holy cow.
Maniac, an absolute maniac. So there's no reason for the Republic. I mean, there are. They have not performed in a way that, again, the SAVE Act, is that going anywhere? That I keep hearing different things.
No.
The numbers.
The Senate adjourned without doing anything with it.
And the support for it is higher than ever. It's at 83%. When was the last time politicians looked at an issue that had 83% support across the parties and they can't bring themselves to vote for it?
Well, and what's the only explanation for the Republicans refusing to take the action needed to get that bill passed? Corruption is the only explanation available to explain why any Republican would turn down the opportunity to take advantage of an 83-17 issue and win it.
Yeah. So who's corrupting them? Who wants no voter ID? That seems like
a lot of people. A lot of people in the business world, unfortunately, want it. People who want open borders want it. And that includes a lot of big business in this country. It includes, ironically now, even labor unions who are supposed to be there to protect American jobs now support open borders. The AFL-CIO being the chief among them. And teachers unions, of course, which shouldn't even be allowed to exist. Government unions, which shouldn't be allowed to exist.
I agree.
Yeah, anyone who supports open borders, wants that. It wants unfettered voting without having to present an ID. The funniest thing that happened last week was Mom Donnie telling the press that people are going to have to present an ID, a valid government ID, to shop at his grocery stores.
So where's the outrage? Where's the inconvenience to the suburban mother or whoever the hell they're worried about? You're really imposing a serious inconvenience on me by asking me to come up with a picture. Yet we all know, we've said it, and we know there's a list of 190,000 different things you got to have a photo ID to do, except vote.
Vote.
And boy, they can produce those IDs. Was a check to be cashed or money at stake? Sure, no problem.
Or a
Voting,
discount banana to be bought. You bet. I got an ID.
And that's the other thing. Nobody seems to be taking a pragmatic look at these. First of all, 3 years to open the first city-run grocery store. 3 years. $70 million.
We've got a Trader Joe's being built in our city where I live in Mansfield, Texas. You know how long it's going to take cradle to grave to get that thing open?
9
less
months.
than 6 months.
Oh, less than 6. I was going to be optimistic and guess that, but
yeah,
it wasn't too far off. Yeah, the private sector does everything better than the government, period. Yet there is this rather sizable population that seems to want to put its faith in the government. Tom, I'd like to ask you, I'm going to appoint you the supreme commander of our military in the Middle East relative to Iran. What would you do?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with David's sentiments. I think that the blockade is, you've got to wait them out. And so I've said it time and time again, war is a battle of wills. And this is not a knock on our president, but it's just who he is. He's a businessman. And so he's all about deals. In war, there are no deals. And so he has tried to lean on his experience, thinking that he can negotiate with terrorists. It doesn't work. So we did not hit them hard enough to capitulate. And so now you've got a technique that will work. The blockade will suffocate them. It will take a long time. So now you've got to say is, okay, how long can they suffer before their own people revolt and where their government has to capitulate? Or how long can we stomach inflation and gas prices? And it's not really about midterms, it's about money. And it's they don't have it and we're paying more for products. And so you're just going to have to wait and see how the battle of wills works out.
And this is the one thing I did not worry about with Donald Trump. I believe the economy was going to be whipped into a growth mode like the one that Reagan was able to do with tax cuts and everything else. And that we would see gas prices, after this initial thing, get back down into at least the mid-twos. There's really no hope of that happening. The Marathon station I always talk about, they've dropped from $3.89 to $3.69. That's not a bargain. Nobody's lining up there to take advantage of that super low gas price.
Yeah, I think another thing, that so-called big attack, I think he was talked down from that. In the Joint Chiefs' mind, I think if we do that big attack, the retaliatory missiles, I think our defenses are depleted where we don't have enough to defend. And like I said, they can build a ballistic missile a lot faster than we can build a Patriot. And so I think the defense industrial base is on high alert to ramp up production, but it's just a matter of fact. So I think that's why he was talked off of that ledge. The blockade is very effective, though. It's just going to take time.
Yeah. And if the president will just shut up about it, just not go on his True Social account 3 o'clock in the morning and post something stupid 3 times a week, then it'll be fine politically. It's not going to be a big political liability. But if he continues to draw attention to it needlessly, like he has done so many times over the past 5 months, then it will remain a big political liability for the Republican Party. And that's, can threaten overturning the House. Probably not the Senate. I think the Senate's pretty safe, really. But the House is in play. And right now, really, the dynamics, amazingly, because of how stupid and insane the Democratic Party has become.
Yes.
Really, the strictly political dynamics favor the Republicans to hold on to the House right now.
Yeah.
Without,
Plus-
if this war, if the president can discipline himself and let this war just go quiet and do what Tom was just saying, maintain blockade and don't upset the apple cart. Keep the status quo, at least until after Election Day. And really, by the time Election Day rolls around, Iran could be in the process of completely collapsing as a country, because you can't run a country without income, and they don't have, well, they have some income, a little bit, but it's a tiny fraction of what it was 6 months ago. And you can't sustain that country for the long term with what the status quo is. So just keep it there and keep the pressure on.
Unfortunately, the citizens have no means to take out the Revolutionary Guard there. So I'm sure they would love to take the country back and out of their hands and live something of a life in that godforsaken hellhole. But
I'm sure they would. I'm sure they would. Yeah.
Maybe we should drop, instead of bombs, do some of the things like we did in World War II, where we dropped propaganda, but it was true. Drop those pictures of Iran in 1976, so that people that lived there can pick them up and say, "Wow, this looks nice." I think this, looks like a more fun way to live. It's just unbelievable. But yeah, and of course, the big story is AOC freezing her eggs.
Yeah. Well, I
don't.
So here's the thing. I'm conflicted about that because I want Americans to have babies. Okay. We're in native population growth right now. And we do need to have more babies. And so just as a matter of the humanity of it, I don't want to make fun of her for freezing her embryos with the hopes of later having children in her life. I don't have a problem with that. It's just going on TikTok and showing yourself taking shots and doing these things that she does. She is such a
moron,
an attention hound. She can't help herself. She's a lot like Donald Trump in that regard. She cannot help herself.
Yeah.
She needs the attention. She really craves the attention. And so I just think it was kind of unseemly to go do all that on TikTok. But, I want people to have more babies in this country. And even if it's crazy people like her, still the babies have a chance to be normal. And we need to increase our birth rate here in America. So I don't want to criticize her for that.
I saw a poll on, I think it was done in New Hampshire for the Democrats, presidential candidates. She's got 22%. Pete Buttplug has 21%. Kamala's down there in like the single digits somewhere.
She's at 5. Yeah. She isn't doing well in New Hampshire.
Does she they really couldn't run her again, could they?
Oh, sure they could. And she's leading the national polls pretty solidly, really, like 25% to 16% for Gavin Newsom.
Who belongs in jail.
Yeah, I mean, she could, but it would be like the worst choice they could make, I think.
By all means, make it then.
Yep. She's a horrible candidate. I don't know what it takes for her to prove that to the party's voter base. And the problem she's really got now is that the communists hate her because they know she's not one of them. As dumb as she is, she's not a communist. And same thing, with Newsom. He's an idiot and a lunatic, but he's not a communist. And so they don't like him either. And that's why AOC is starting to gain this momentum now because she's not just a communist. She's a card-carrying member of the DSA, along with Bernie Sanders. And, she actively she didn't just endorse Mamdani. She actively campaigned with him. And she actively campaigned with El Sayed. She is refusing to endorse this crazy lady in Wisconsin.
Hong.
Whose name I just always Hong. Francesca Hong. But she's going to win that primary tomorrow. She's going to be the Democratic nominee for governor there.
I almost want to, I don't have much to wager, but I almost want to place a wager that she will not win. She will not, has no chance to be the next governor of Wisconsin. Not with the crack pottery that's come out of her previous social media feeds. She's a depressing looking woman.
Well, and she is dumb as a fence post. If you watch her interviews, she really is really not bright, but her campaign ads are very effective. Her stump speech she's a really strong speaker on the stump, with a script. You get her off the script and she can barely put two sentences together. And you compare that to Kamala Harris, who is an awful public speaker.
Yeah.
And also can't put two sentences together coherently when she doesn't have a script. So Hong is a real mixed bag. If you're her campaign manager, your whole goal is to prevent her from doing live interviews where she doesn't have a script to recite. And, but if you can just keep her strictly in the ads and doing her stump speeches, she'll be a forceful candidate in November in that state, because that state's probably 52-48 Democrat state. It is a tough state, even though Trump has won it twice.
Pardon me while I lapse into depression. Who do we have?
Got Soldier Boy.
All right. Soldier Boy's in with David Blackman at 3:54.
Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. I'm going to give you some experience. I was in Desert Shield, Desert Storm for 3 16-month tours. And I got the opportunity to work with a full bird colonel of the Iraqi military defense, okay? And he told me something, Soldier Boy. He says, when you guys leave, nothing will have changed. You guys came over here for a waste of time, because the Sunnis and the Shiites will continue to kill each other, their tribal people. Mr. Trump's got to do one thing. In order to win a war, okay, you have to defeat your enemy, okay, and then you have to occupy his land. That's the only way war is really ever won, truly. I mean, we learned that in Vietnam. Yeah. So if we want to beat them right now, simply two things. Why don't we do the same thing? Why don't we arm the Kurds? They're ready to rock and roll, okay? Because we're too scared to put troops and boots on the ground, okay? Give them the weapons. Didn't we give weapons to the Afghanis during the Russian invasion?
Yeah, we did. Stinger missiles and stuff, yeah.
Exactly. All the modern weapons of being those big old tank helicopters down, remember? Because we had the advanced equipment. And who did that? Oh, that was the CIA. Am I correct, David?
Yeah. Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay.
But, we tried arming the Kurds in March and April, and what the Kurds did was they took the arms we gave them and sold them. So the Kurds are not interested in this fight.
I think they are. I have to disagree with you. For what I've read and from what I've known in the 3 years I was over there, in the three separate 16-month tours, I kind of got a figure on these people. They're going to sit there and wait these people out. These people, I remember during Ramadan, okay? Ramadan, from sunrise to sunset, you can't eat and you can't drink any water, okay? I saw guys making bricks from sand and mud out there, passing out and dying because they were so religious about their convictions, okay? These people will do whatever. They'll cut their own throats. The only way these people want their country, well, they're going to have to fight for their country. But then again, they don't have the weapons, David. They don't have the weapons to strike back.
Well, again, we tried to give them weapons, and they took them and resold them.
Yep.
So I don't know what else to say about the Kurds.
What if we were to do a massive airdrop of rifles on little parachutes floating into Tehran so that the citizens could be armed and then maybe have a chance to do something with the RGC?
Well, then the regime would have its thugs out on the streets shooting anybody that tried to catch the guns coming down out of the sky.
I got to
because
stop
they're
thinking
barbarians.
I got to stop thinking things halfway through.
And I don't think they know how to use them either. That's the problem. They're very. That's a foreign thing. Like, how do you put a magazine? How do you, you know, it just.
It's not necessarily intuitive.
And David, you were right. I have to agree with you on one thing, David. Well, a couple of things, but this one in particular, we should have put boots on the ground on Kurt Island. We should have done it 3 months ago.
Well, yeah.
We should have. Because I've worked with special forces and I've worked with the Marines and everything, and trust me, they got the best weapons. They're the best trained, and trust me, a couple of those little towel heads would have to scream and see 40 virgins real quick, because these guys are killing machines. They are trained
That's
for
true.
one thing, and
But when they're on that island, they become extremely vulnerable to missile and drone fire, because it's a pretty compact space that half of it is filled with tanks full of oil that could be easily hit by.
To get them covered when they hit that beach. Don't we have? First of all, we have that new thing. What is it called? A remote control boat that sends forward and can put troops in there, and they can also send explosives with them.
Sure. Yeah.
Remote control it. Okay, because the war has changed a big time. Okay. It's gone to a cheap war. Why spend $1 million on a Stinger missile to shoot down a $40,000 drone? That doesn't make sense. Okay.
Yeah, and that's the position we got ourselves in.
We're at the top of the hour, so we got a break. Great call. Thanks for bringing up the point you did, and we appreciate your experience and service, buddy.
Yes, thank you for your service.
Absolutely.
Take care. All right. So the key takeaway in this conversation is Trump needs to lay off social, wait it out, let the embargo work, and that's a big ask, but we can.
Yeah, I'm sure he's already kind of at the end of his ability to maintain that discipline.
Friends, the best thing I get in my email box every morning are David's blogs. If you're interested in subscribing, and I don't know why you wouldn't be. I mean, remember how Reader's Digest could take something and collect all the salient points into a nice read that you had time to do? That's David's blog. And it always leaves you wanting more, which is kind of cool, too. Subscribe at davidblackman.substack.com for energy. And this man's got a career in the energy field. You just heard some very valuable insights. That's blackman.substack.com. And David, we will take a break here. Our second long segment will be coming up around 4:10 or so.
Great.
And we will see you then. Thank you, my friend. Here's another 5-star review for Robbie's Heating Air Conditioning. This guy, I got to tell you, I've been with the Clark family for over 15 years, maybe closer to 20. And I've always admired the way they go about things. And Robbie has now branched out on his own, and I'm going with him. He's already come and done some incredible work at the house. His experience, diagnostic skills, hard work. Here's a review. Robbie's wonderful. He responded very quickly. Had my air working within minutes. Bonus points for my dog liking him. I will be switching from Robbie from now on. By the way, he does do service contracts, only $149 for a full year for tune-ups and on call. 24/7, 365. He can sell you a new unit if you need one. He knows his stuff, and he's one of the nicest people you will ever have into your house for any kind of service. So once again, if you don't have a go-to company, 334-245-3644. That's 245-3644 in the 334 area code for Robbie's Heating and Air Conditioning. Absolutely sensational. Off to the traffic dungeon. Salem Radio Network News. Back with David in a bit.
Well, we continue to see traffic build this afternoon. We have a lot of cars out on the road, but we've not really heard of any major issues anywhere. As of right now, things are looking really good all over the city. We are just busy a good bit. Interstates, boulevards, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate traffic. Imagine graduating high school with your college degree already in your hand. That's the power of early college at Trenton State Community College. No debt, no delay, just a college degree. Go to TrentonState.edu for more information. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
When it comes to your mortgage, who you work with matters. And this is one decision where local makes all the difference. Don't fall victim to flashy mailers, spam calls, or 1-800-LENDERS who don't even know your name, much less your neighborhood. Those lenders are often sitting in some faraway state, reading from a script, and chasing volume, not relationships. A local lender understands the market you live in, or should I say that we live in. At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can look at us in the eye and trust us with one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Local lenders don't disappear after closing day. Our reputation is built right here, one family at a time. So before you pick up the phone and call a stranger, remember us, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon at Alabama Home Mortgage. You deserve guidance from someone who knows the community because they're a part of it. Give us a call at Alabama Home Mortgage today at 334-567-4223 or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
An evening with Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Center with the 2026 tour September 24th at the Montgomery Performing Arts Center. Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Center performing vintage songs from Heart and more. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com, Impact.org, or the Impact box office. Don't miss an evening with Ann Wilson of Heart and Trip Center, Thursday, September 24th, 8 p.m. live at the Impact.
For more than 50 years, the Tears family's been keeping the river region flowing with Roto-Rooter. From drain cleaning to septic repair and installation, no job's too big or too messy with a local team you can trust. So when water won't go where it's supposed to, call the hometown experts who've been serving Montgomery for over half a century. That's 272-7130 or visit rotorooteralabama.com. And remember,
call Roto-Rooter, that's the name. And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Beyond the forecast with meteorologist Ben Lang on the 2023 Selma tornado.
We were here in the studio. The tornado didn't hit us. We were just fine. We're still able to go to work the next day. But for other people, their lives have been upended. That's really tough. It is a big deal to be able to use my knowledge about what's going on with the weather to hopefully be able to keep folks safe.
Ben Lang, part of the Action 8 weather team, your weather authority.
Today's show is brought to you by tomorrow's show. You'll have to tune in then to find out why.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Powerful 7.
Well, it appears that SRN News is having issues, so better luck next hour.
Trust is the number one reason why a patient chooses a healthcare provider. Adams Drugs has been your trusted healthcare provider since 1962 and has been voted the number one pharmacy in the River region for many years. We strive each and every day to provide you the level of health care you have come to expect from Adams Drugs. The employees at Adams Drugs take pride in developing relationships with their patients. From making sure your prescriptions are filled correctly, to getting to know you and your family's needs, and following up on any questions you may have, Adams Drugs employees deliver top-notch service. We ask you to visit us at any of our locations in Montgomery, Prattville, Wetumpka, Millbrook, and Pine Level Marbury and give us a chance to earn your business. You can find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
When the heat hits to the river region, don't wait. If your AC quits, Hands Heating and Air offers same-day service, or your diagnostic charge is free with their Comfort a Day or You Don't Pay guarantee, plus 24/7 service with no overtime charges.
408, back with David Blackman and 2.
Well, we continue to see traffic build this afternoon. We have a lot of cars out on the road, but we've not really heard of any major issues anywhere. As of right now, things are looking really good all over the city. We are just busy a good bit. Interstates, boulevards, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate traffic. Imagine graduating high school with your college degree already in your hand. That's the power of early college at Trenton State Community College. No debt, no delay, just a college degree. Go to trentumstate.edu for more information. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
A great lawn doesn't happen by accident. It takes a pro. That's where Turf by Pest Pro comes in. We handle the weeds, feed your grass, and take care of fire ants so your lawn stays healthy, strong, and looking its best, which means your yard is ready for cookouts, playtime, and making memories all season long. Get started today. Call 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. That's 265-9990 or visit us at ppsriverregion.com. When you want to grow, call a pro. Turf by Pest Pro.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
Maybe this is why Hong has a chance to win in Wisconsin, because among other stories out of Wisconsin this weekend, a naked woman was arrested after stealing an ambulance.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
That's the key question. Why are you naked right now? She was arrested. So the idiocracy and the criminal element is still very busy.
I like how she nonchalantly just, yeah.
Yeah.
We driving? Yeah.
Unbelievable. Maybe that's why people like Hong have I just don't want to believe that. I just don't want to believe that. There's no erasing all the stuff that she said years ago. And now all of a sudden, Thanksgiving is her favorite holiday, David. Isn't that nice? She's come to see the light.
Well, she's a communist. All she does is lie.
Yeah. That's part of the deal, right? Say whatever
Yes.
you got to say to get in. Freeze your eggs, love Thanksgiving, whatever it takes. And yet, I still insist, I'm probably wasting my breath, but the Republicans, Trump's got a $400 million AIPAC war chest. Why don't we start using some of that money to teach people, flood the markets with messages on what happens in socialism? What it did to Cuba, what the Soviet Union. Find me a picture of somebody smiling from the end of World War II until Reagan got him to tear down that wall, that was smiling for any reason other than being loaded.
Yeah, when they tore down the wall, nobody ran into East Berlin.
No.
Right.
No, they have to lock their people in.
Yeah.
to keep him on board. Oh, here's another Dem communist says America deserved 9/11. Who was that? Is that Hassan Piker?
El Sayed and Hassan Piker, yeah.
We deserved it. Why? What did we do to deserve 9/11? And that's going to get votes? Do I believe we know everything about 9/11? No. But
Well, we've got 2 generations of Americans now who have been taught that in our public schools. Okay.
We had it coming.
Yeah, it's going to resonate. I mean, some of those, many of the millions of them are old enough to vote now. They've all been educated. That's the truth. Okay. I mean, and they haven't been taught the Constitution. They haven't been taught American history. They don't understand what makes this country special. So yeah, these messages are going to resonate with those people.
Now, I just saw a headline that says AOC is distancing herself from Hong. So did Bernie Sanders, did he not?
Yeah, she's so crazy, even they can't endorse her. So there is, we did discover the weekend that Bernie Sanders and AOC do have a limit. It's astonishing to me. I never would have believed it, but yes.
I do see signs of panic in the Democratic Party from the old guard. They know that this is not going to win for them. And they're starting to try to create some distance from themselves on everything from opening the borders. I mean, Tallarico, doesn't he think that Texas should be a big welcome mat for the rest of the world down there?
Sure.
How's
Yeah,
he doing, by the way?
absolutely.
What's the latest on his polling?
Well, I mean, he's still up in the polls. He's ahead of Paxton in the polls right now.
Wow.
I don't believe that'll last, but he is right now. And you talk about the old guard, and that's true. 82-year-old James Carville claims that he can't exist in the same party with Hassan Piker, and yet he is existing in the same party with Hassan Piker. Hassan Piker is the most popular podcaster with Democrats in this country right now. Okay.
Oh my God.
And James Carville hasn't left the Democratic Party that I've heard about. Hillary Clinton was talking yesterday about her concerns about the communist message not really resonating with Americans who aren't committed Democrats. But then did she say, well, I can't support these people? No, she didn't. She said, our challenge is to convince the public to support these people. Okay. So even when they criticize the communists, old guard like Hillary Clinton and James Carville don't, they just try to figure out that, change the messages, which has always been the case with Democrats. The solution to everything is just, we got to change our message. Not we have to change our behavior because they're in a party that believes seizing power by whatever means necessary is the way to do things. And all you have to do is just change the messages so people will willingly turn their lives over to the party. And
Now
so
Mondani has had a little time in New York now, and there have been 3 instances recently where he was booed off the stage by very hostile people.
Yeah.
Does this
That's
mean
true.
does this mean anything? Are they finally getting wise to this guy? Because he's kind of the guy that opened the door for the rest of these crackpots to come in.
Well, I remember, so the challenge will be what happens when he runs for re-election. I remember in Bill de Blasio's first term, it was before this guy, the worst mayor who's ever been elected anywhere in this country.
Yes.
He was getting booed off stages all the time, particularly anytime he spoke to the police or the firemen, so they would turn their backs on him and ignore him, literally. But yet, when he ran for re-election, he got 70% of the vote.
Holy crap.
In New York City. And I suspect that when Mamdani runs for re-election, even though he appears unpopular, these people are, the people in New York, 80% of them are just completely brainwashed people. And I mean, for God's sake, it's like California. They actually successfully forced a recall election on Gavin Newsom with a petition drive.
Yeah, I remember
Got
that.
3 times the number of signatures they needed to force that. And when the election happened, what happened? Newsom got 68% of the vote. You know, appearances are deceiving where Democrats are concerned. They might boo somebody off the stage, like Abigail Spanberger got booed off stage yesterday. But what went, you know, if Abigail
She did?
yeah, she went to a fiddlers festival of all things in the western part of the state, in a rural part of the state, and got up on the stage and they just booed her mercilessly. But I will guarantee you, every Democrat that was in that crowd booing her would vote for her if there was an election today.
Oh God!
Because they're just programmed. They're like robots. They walk into a voting booth and all they do is look to see which candidate has a D next to their name, and it doesn't matter who it is.
Another
For 98% of them.
example of Republican mismanagement on messaging and making a case, you know, with the affordability issue. When did most of this happen? I mean, the gas prices, that's obviously a consequence of the Iranian situation. But we had 30% inflation under Joe Biden. Why are they not making that known to people? They're acting like all of this happened when Trump took office. And of course, the media is never going to tell the truth. They're worthless.
Well, so the Republicans are dumb. You know, It's a dumb party run by dumb people.
Yeah.
Always has been. Could screw up a one-car parade. As we saw with the adjournment of the Senate on Friday, without taking action on the SAVE Act. They have an 83% issue in their favor. They can't pass the bill. So there's no explaining Republicans. You know, the party's run by establishment country club people who, as we find every day, you know, Mark Wayne Mullen's a great example over at DHS. Mark Wayne Mullen's a liberal. Okay. He shouldn't be in that job. He should have never been elected senator from the most Republican state in the country. The governor, the current governor in Oklahoma, is a liberal. He pretends to be a Republican, but he's a liberal. The simple fact of the matter is that when you look at Republicans around the country, the candidates that run, 40% of them are liberals. They're just there in the Republican Party to take a seat away from a real Republican. And probably in the U.S. Senate, you got 53 Republicans, probably 30 of them agree philosophically with the establishment wing of the Democratic Party. They just want to do things a little slower so that they can pretend to be different than the Democrats. So they'll slow things down and pretend they're conservative and go on Fox News and do an interview and talk tough. But when it comes down to actually doing something meaningful to save this country, they will vote the wrong way, or they will say, well, we just don't have the votes in the Senate to do this 83% bill. And that's the situation we're in. The office holders in the Republican Party do not reflect the priorities of the voters in the Republican Party.
Why are they not pointing to the incredible successes in Florida? I mean, there's no state tax there. The governor is not saying we got to tax the hell out of all the millionaires and billionaires. And you did a brilliant blog explaining that. What does that even mean? Tax the hell out of them. That technically, you shared very personal information in there about your family. You have assets that are mineral assets that are underground. Technically, they have a value, but are you ever going to be able to acquire those? Explain to everybody how taxing millionaires pretty much means taxing anybody that owns a house.
Well, in some states it does, like California, New York, the high tax blue states. If you can afford to own a home, a standalone home, chances are pretty good your total assets total to $1 million or more, because the value of that house is part of your asset base. So chances are pretty good there are millions of Americans who are technically millionaires. When you hear the chairman of the DSA or AOC or Bernie Sanders talking about taxing the hell out of millionaires, they're talking about hundreds of millions of Americans now. Anyone who had a stable career, was able to save decent money in an IRA or 401k, 7 to 10% of your income over 40 years, chances are really good you've got $1 million or more in your retirement fund. And then you probably own a home. And then you own cars that have a value. So, people who really live paycheck to paycheck or are living on their retirement funds are actually targets for these people to be taxed the hell out of, because they want to implement not an income tax, but an asset tax. That's a big part of the DSA agenda. And initially, 6 months ago, they were talking about going after the billionaires and taxing the hell out of the billionaires. But over the past few weeks, that rhetoric has begun to change to taxing the hell out of millionaires. Why? Because there aren't that many billionaires in this country, and taxing the hell out of them isn't going to get them the money they want. They know they have to go after and destroy the middle class and seize all the assets of the middle class of this country. This is what communists always do. They're going to decimate and destroy the middle class in this country if they come to power. So my family is a great example, because we had a family farm. We've sold all the surface rights. It was in the family for 110 years. Sold all the surface, but have retained the mineral rights. So underneath our family farm that we used to own it's about 3,000 acres in Goliad County in South Texas. There's a formation called the Eagle Ford Shale that has been an incredibly prolific formation over the past 15 years, produce a lot of oil and gas. Underneath the land where all the wells have been drilled so far, that formation's only 5,000 to 7,000 feet deep. Underneath our ranch, it's 13,000 feet deep. Okay. So, and it's all dry natural gas. There's no oil beneath us. And we know this, and we've known it for 15 years. So if there becomes an asset tax, we have no production. We're not getting any money related to that, because natural gas is too cheap right now to justify drilling the wells underneath our land. So we don't have any income. But if the communists come to power, they're going to say, well, you've got, the value technically of that resource is many millions of dollars. And as royalty owners, if you ever produce it, my family would get some of that money, probably 25% of it. And so what the communists would do when they get elected is say, well, the discounted value of that resource underneath your land is X million dollars, and you need to pay us X million dollars of tax every year, or we're going to seize the asset. That's what their goal is. And there are millions of people in the same situation my family's in all over this country.
Why are not more people understanding this? This is their goal.
My brothers and sisters don't realize this. Okay. And, I have a cousin who understands it, but probably none of my brothers or sisters understand it. And when I try to talk to them about it, they just don't listen. So it just is what it is. But so that's what they're really talking about doing to Americans is they're going to come in and say, let's say you own a home that's, maybe worth $1 million. You might have paid $300,000 for it, but real estate market got hot. Technically, it has a market value of $1 million. Well, they're going to say, well, we want 10% of the value of that house as taxes every year.
Wow.
Are you going to have $100,000 sitting around to pay them? Or are you going to say, well, I can't pay it? And they're going to say, oh, well, we're going to seize your house. Because that's what they're going to do. That's what communists do when they come to power. So
I can't believe that if they manage to get that far, that people are just going to sit and willingly turn over that. This is This to me sounds like Civil War stuff.
Well, it's tough for them, yeah, and that's the problem for the communists. Is the first thing they got to do is take everybody's guns away, or none of that works, right?
Yeah.
Which is why the Democratic Party has been so focused on getting rid of the Second Amendment for the last half century. They failed because, the law is what it is. The Constitution is what it is. But they're, if they seize power, they're going to pack the Supreme Court. They're going to put in 4 more Democratic senators by making Puerto Rico and the District of Columbia states. And they're going to repeal the Second Amendment. Okay. And they're going to come take your guns. That's the first thing they're going to do. And then the second thing they're going to do is implement the asset tax and start seizing your homes. That's what they're going to do. And by the way, just because they're talking about it being limited to millionaires now, when they come to power, it's going to be everybody.
Yeah.
It's not going to be limited in any way. They're just saying millionaires to get elected. So
I can't wait to see what they do with the FCC if they ever get that far.
The FCC.
Yeah, if they get to appoint and regulate this business, I would imagine that conversations like the one we're having will be prohibited.
Yeah, you won't be able to have this conversation.
Yeah. We're having it now, friends. I know most of the people that listen to this show are wise to this. But God, we somehow got to wake up the people that are sitting there going, I don't know. And sadly, that's a lot of people. That is a lot of people. Yeah. And they can't define their millionaire tax demand, because if they did define it, they would be out of business quickly. That's why they continue to lie. Damn. Hey, but we've saved the best for last in our final segment. Tom Moore, me, we're declaring for the WNBA draft.
Power forward and guard right here of the Indiana Fever.
Yeah.
We're playing with Caitlin.
And the
Florida, I'd do
Florida,
it if I could play with Caitlin and Sophie. I wouldn't do it on any other team.
just to piss off the liberals today, there's a great picture of Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Sweeney, and I just put it on Facebook.
Can't wait to see ESPN think, oh my God, that guard is ugly. Stop, that's Greg.
There was a time in my career when I could survive on my good looks, but not so much anymore.
God, she plays like a man. It is a man.
It's
he needs longer shorts, Jim.
You know, it's 4:30 already. How did it get to be 4:30 already? But we are coming back to the WNBA, which, give them credit. I mean, everybody's talking about, I don't know if anybody's watching their games, but what's going on there is just what a show it's been. And we'll get into some of that and other topics as well. Subscribe to David Blackman at davidblackman.substack.com. It's the best thing you can find in your inbox every morning. And if you want more insights on the energy business, this is a career energy guy here, David. Blackman.substack.com. And David, we'll see you on the other side of this break, my friend.
All righty.
Looking forward to it. All right. You know, I have to admit that some of this stuff is just tough to digest on the fly. Because I'm just not, I don't want to believe that our country and our people have gotten that effing stupid. Socialism is never, not for the great majority of people. The equalizer there, the fairness that they seem so obsessed with, is just equal misery as the end result. Sad. 431, there are people dealing with life crises every day. Sometimes it can be a divorce. It can be a past situation coming to roost. What you need, first of all, is to understand you're not the best person to manage. It's your situation, but hire a manager to take care of business for you, to face the situation that's turning you inside out emotionally. Whatever it is. Could be frustrations trying to adopt, to do the right thing, and you're getting a leg thrown out in front of you by the state or the government. Turn it over. Turn it over to Dana Delk and Jacqueline Tomlinson and get a couple of warriors to look out for your best interests. Just let them do their job. Give them the information they need to know in a consultation at 819-4810. Let them explain where you're at, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. And they do that. It's legal leadership, and it's so critical. You've got to be able to trust implicitly, and I think when you have personal contact with them, that's going to be the easiest part of the situation. And they have not only the legal wisdom, but the experience. Hundreds of cases in family law on all sides, and two people you can absolutely trust to help achieve the best possible outcome of whatever you're facing right now. They also do simple matters of family law, blended families, adoptions, and if you need a will. All their services are listed at this web address, thealabamafamilylawyers.com. For Delk and Tomlinson attorneys at law, or refer people or yourself for this number, 819-4810 in the 334. 819-4810 for Delk and Tomlinson attorneys at law.
The representation is made that the quality of legal services performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Our final segment coming up. Here's Skipper.
Well, we are seeing a lot of traffic out on the roads now. Interstates, boulevards, I-65 and 85 getting busy as well. We have not seen any real issues in the last little bit. Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to moderate building afternoon traffic. Getting busy out there. Keep it here for updates. Front Porch Grill is all about good food, family, and friends. Daily specials and a down-home atmosphere that makes it a perfect place to relax. The Front Porch Grill in Millbrook next to Food Outlet. Buckle up with J. Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
News is brought to you by Adams Motorsports of Montgomery, where your pleasure is their business.
1819 News.
U.S. Congressman Gary Palmer has been talking to Democrats in Washington, D.C. after there has been a series of political wins within that party by socialist and communist candidates. Palmer spoke on Priority Talk with host Greg Davis.
I think they're in a really tough spot. I said it wouldn't surprise me if some of these Democrats declare themselves independents or maybe even try to switch over to the Republican Party. About 6 years ago, we had one. Jeff Van Drew from New Jersey switched, and he's done well and has voted consistently with us on life issues. But I think a lot of them feel like they're forced to vote for stuff that we consider very extreme. There's some folks that I think might switch. Fetterman has said that he's considering it. I think the problem is that the Democratic Party had flipped so far to the left that the only way to beat a Democrat was to be even more left than they were, and that's what's happening.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Covenant Grassroots Group seeks to directly support organizations and agencies that are fighting the global battle against human trafficking. They do this through funding, procuring, and advocating. You can go to covenantrescue.org for further details. They need your donations, guys. Hop on and donate.
A man and woman from Mobile have been convicted of bank fraud by a federal jury. The U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Alabama prosecuted the two for a scheme that involved fraudulent checks that netted them $25 million. 45-year-old Katarius Johnson and 39-year-old Denisha Foster committed the fraud while Johnson was a federal inmate in Bruton, Alabama. A district judge will sentence the two to prison this coming November. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
AdamsMotorsports.com on the web, or Adams Motorsports on the Boulevard in Montgomery. That's at Adams Motorsports in Montgomery, where your pleasure is our business. Come by and learn more about the new Suzuki GSX 8R motorcycle and see for yourself the bar has officially been reset.
What are you getting? Still deciding, but I do know on August 11th, I'm choosing Rhett Marcus for Congress.
Why Rhett Marcus?
Because he's a true conservative, endorsed by President Trump and Senator Katie Britt.
Oh, then you can trust him.
And he's a small business owner, not a politician.
Sounds like this choice on August 11th is the easiest decision we'll ever make.
Remember to vote on August 11th. I'm Rhett Marcus, the Trump-endorsed candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Rhett for Alabama.
Whether it's AC or heating or plumbing that you're needing, whatever you require, call Call Lou Choir.
With the seasons changing, your HVAC system is working overtime. Call Lou Choir today to schedule a tune-up with one of their expert technicians to keep your system running efficiently and reliably. Keep your home comfortable all season long. 24-hour emergency service available. License number 22154.
Call Lou Choir right now.
We get a lot of questions about what all we handle at Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. I'm Hannah Grantham.
And I'm Eddie Bader, and we will handle all of your real estate needs.
We handle all your buying and selling needs, from your first home, next home, land, investment property, and even commercial properties.
We do it all and have the experience that shows you what makes us different.
So when you think real estate, think Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. Look us up on Facebook or give us a call at 334-368-6358. And let us show you who you have on your sign matters.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
We didn't have tornadoes here until we started putting into traffic circles. Because on the count of, you want to know why? When people go round and round in circles, it causes disturbance in the atmosphere and causes tornadoes.
Welcome to the world of Idiocracy with Greg, Pamela, and experts, especially David Blackman, talking about all the latest mess. Get it off your chest and tune to the best. The tales of Idiocracy. The tales of Idiocracy. Oh, the tales of Idiocracy. It's the tales of Idiocracy.
And welcome back for our third and final segment. We're going to talk a little sports here. David Blackman joining us. And we have a caller who would like to talk to you, sir. So let's bring him on. Who's this?
Hey, David, Greg, this is Billy. I hope y'all are doing well today.
Yeah, sort of.
Good. David, 10 minutes ago, buddy, you just charted the entire future of this country in the next 30 years. And it's just a matter of time. We know Trump's not going to be in office forever, okay? We know the Republicans aren't going to be in office forever. And when the Democrats do take over again, they're so far to the left now that everything is going to be destroyed. You're going to see the courts packed. You're going to see exactly what you were talking about with the extra senators for Puerto Rico, D.C., and so forth. And then you're going to see the Second Amendment get taken away. You're going to see people knocking on your doors, taking your weapons, and then you're going to see taxation so bad that people's going to lose everything they got. And
that's correct.
It's
yes.
coming. It is
Yeah,
coming.
that's the goal.
Nothing else about the Democratic Party. You just charted their next existence for the past 30 years. Because no savior's going to come in and nobody's going to ride in on a white horse and say, I'm a Democrat, but I'm like Bill Clinton. Or I'm a Democrat and I'm like Jimmy Carter. Them people are dead. They're gone and they will not be back, okay? The party is dead if that's what you want, if you're a Democrat, an old Democrat. These new people today, they hate you, they hate God, they hate this country, and they hate everything it was founded on.
But most of all, they hate themselves. They're miserable people. And rather than try and find a pathway to happiness, it's easier to bring everybody down with you.
They don't hate themselves. Those people have been pumped up and told by your grandparents' money, by my parents' money, by our tax dollars' money as we work today, because we paid these universities to do it for the past 40 years.
Yeah.
50 years probably.
The most
okay?
dangerous one of all, beyond the usual suspects, and a newer name to the list is Hassan Piker.
And Hassan Piker said over the weekend that we are here to destroy the white race. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly
This
right.
is a guy who's a Nepo baby himself. He grew up in great wealth and privilege, went to private schools and universities, and he's here to destroy the white people who gave him all that.
And here's something
Why?
else that you mentioned, David and Greg. Okay, he's out to destroy the white race. Okay, they hate Christianity. Okay,
yes.
Where are the preachers in America standing up and preaching against it?
Good question.
Well, they've all been
maybe
brainwashed
Greg-
too.
Exactly right, Greg. You need to have someone from the Alabama Baptist Convention on with David Blackman, and y'all need to question these people. Because these feel-good Baptist preachers you hear every Sunday, they don't preach this word. They don't tell their congregation to stand up and fight what they've been preaching for the past 50, 60 years. All they care about is padding their pockets. That's all they care about. And they're just like these Republican senators that we've been talking about. I've been listening to y'all for the past 30 minutes. They don't care nothing about us. If they did, we would pass the Save America Act, period.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I
y'all
hate
have
to
a
say
great
it,
day.
but you're right. Yeah, I can't really disagree with anything you just said.
272-9228. If anybody else has a uplifting call, I'll just grab it.
You know, I hate
Just give me-
to be the messenger on all this, but somebody's got to say it at least.
We
You know,
got to
maybe
get
we
people to
won't-
understand what's really happening here. My God. Oh, interesting to note that El Sayed had a warm conversation with Obama. What a surprise that was.
Yeah, well, that's a shocker, isn't it?
Yeah, threw me off guard completely. Hi, who's this?
This is Edwin Pete.
Edwin, welcome to the show. You're on with David Blackman.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys. And I wanted to ask a question. I'd like to listen on the air, if you don't mind. But
No, sure.
What is the possibility of our country becoming two countries? Because there's such a dichotomy of, beliefs, and it just seems like I'm not going to change my beliefs and my system of living, and it seems like others aren't going to change theirs. So why don't we just create two countries within one, have our own system? And I just wanted to see what you guys had to say about that, if that's even a possibility.
I mean, I think
Thank
we're
you.
living. I think we're living in it. It's the big cities are Democratic, and
Yeah.
the rest of the state is Republican, and you see that in a map. You feel like you're living in two different worlds.
This is true.
Yeah, the whole country's like that. I mean, the Democratic Party is limited to big cities in the middle of the country and isolated areas along both the east and west coast, and the rest of the country is red. I mean, it just is. Texas is like that. Pretty much every state you look at is like that. In Colorado, Denver's a big blue bubble inside of a big red square. And you just go state by state and see the same thing over and over again. I thought it was possible for there to be a meeting of the minds and a partitioning of the country, because I think that's what it's ultimately going to come down to. I think the Democrats, this has been their goal for a long time. They want either a civil war or just to seize control of the country peacefully somehow. And they're willing to do it by any means. When they talk about, doing what's necessary by any means necessary to get power and do what they want to do, they're not lying about it. Okay.
No.
You have to realize that they're serious about this. And it really began with the Clintons. And, I've been writing about it ever since. You could see it in 92, what was coming with the Clintons and what they started. And it's only deteriorated from there. And you know, we look back on it, and Bill Clinton was positively moderate compared to what the Democrats are now. But the Clintons were the one that brought in the mindset that you can't any longer debate on issues. You can't have honest debates because we can't win debates on facts and the real world. We just have to demonize our opposition, adopt the tactics of Saul Alinsky. Hillary Clinton wrote her master's thesis on Saul Alinsky. He was her hero, her life's hero. The rules for radicals that most people are familiar with. And so they shifted the entire Democratic Party to be based on Alinsky's rules for radicals. And that's led to everything else we've seen. And that all came out of the surrender of our system of education to the hippies of the 1960s. The radicals of the 60s became the college professors of the 70s and 80s and 90s, and it's gone downhill from there. And the business world surrendered all that. Republicans surrendered all that. And decided, and Jimmy Carter, of course, created the Department of Education so he could bring the radicals into the federal government to rule over the education system. So it's, I mean, really, I say it all started with Bill and Hillary Clinton, but really Jimmy Carter did a lot of the damage before they came along.
Let's move to something.
I'm sorry,
saner.
I hate to be such a downer, but I mean, y'all asked me, and the truth is what it is.
This is the truth. This is what we got to deal with. You know, the idea that we got to have another frickin' civil war to get rid of these cockroaches, subhumans, America
that's
hating.
their problem is we're not a disarmed people yet.
Yeah.
It's why the UK, the people in the United Kingdom, you see this communist government that's ruling the United Kingdom now.
Yeah.
And they can do whatever they want because in the 1990s, the British people were disarmed for the most part, except for very limited ownership of hunting rifles. Same thing in Australia. Australians are not radical communist people, but they volunteered to be disarmed by their government in the late 1990s. And now you've got this, what is essentially a communist government ruling over Australia and New Zealand. You see it all over the Western world. We're different. We haven't been disarmed. The Second Amendment protects us until the communists seize power and put 6 more justices on the Supreme Court to create a permanent communist majority on the Supreme Court. And then the Second Amendment no longer protects us. And they're telling us openly that's what they're going to do if they're elected. Yeah. They're not making a secret of that anymore.
We could never make the claim we didn't know.
That's right.
So that's out the window. But is there anything that defines the idiocracy to a greater degree right now than the WNBA?
No, I think that that is the ultimate sports-related culmination of the idiocracy is the WNBA. And that's too bad because there are, those athletes are not the problem with the WNBA. The people who run the WNBA are the problem.
Yes.
The players, 90% of them just want to play. That's all they want to do is play basketball. They're not there to be political pawns, but the leadership of the league is a problem.
David wrote a great blog over the weekend. This beautiful woman just wants to shoot hoops, and there is this beautiful woman. I'll share the screen so people can see what we're talking about here. Yeah.
We can't see it. Oh,
this hottie. This hottie would like to be
in his Canter Freedom.
Yeah. And I love what he's doing here. I think he's trying to point out how insane they are. Oh, and there's another beautiful woman in a Celtics jersey looking to do the same thing, find a career with the NBA. But what really was ugly and disturbing over the weekend was what happened to Sophie, who the lesbians in the NBA resent because she's a sex symbol, and unafraid, fearless, is not down with the trans thing, which is nuts. And I mean, she got assaulted on the basketball court.
He did, yeah. I mean, the other player should have been arrested and charged with assault and battery.
Yeah.
I mean, she tried to take her head off, basically.
And
it was
then
obviously intentional.
did the right by the commie playbook, right by the Democratic playbook, went in and said, white privilege. That's why I got kicked out of the game.
Yeah.
That was so infuriating.
Yeah, and I just happened to tune into that game. I didn't have anything going on Saturday, and I was online and saw that Indiana was playing on ABC, I think it was. So I tuned in. I've never watched the WNBA game in full, and I still haven't. I tuned it in the middle of the second quarter and just happened to catch that play shortly after I tuned in and watched the rest of the game. And, the conclusion I reached having watched that game is that it's a miracle the Indiana team ever manages to win a game, because the officials are so biased against the Indiana team. It's incredible. In the third quarter, Caitlin Clark is driving the lane. She literally gets shoved in the back by the player defending her. And because she was shoved, she lost her balance. She accidentally ran into the official, really just barely brushed her. And the official makes no call for about a second and a half, then looks and realizes that was Caitlin Clark that brushed her and called her for a technical for running into an official. If it hadn't been Caitlin Clark, she wouldn't have called her. And the reason is this, because it's been known for 3 weeks now that Caitlin Clark had collected 7 technical fouls already this season. And when a player gets their 8th technical foul, they get suspended for a game by league rule. And so the officials have known now for about 3 weeks that they could be the one that becomes famous for calling the 8th technical on Caitlin Clark. And that official clearly wasn't going to call anything until she realized it was Caitlin Clark, and that was her opportunity to make a name for herself. I mean, it's a completely corrupt league. It's a farce. It's a shame Caitlin Clark is stuck playing in it.
Yeah.
And I think she and Sophie Cunningham really would do themselves a big favor to leave the league at the end of this season, because they're going to end up getting hurt. I mean, hurt badly.
As you point out, this league is really exists at the whim of the NBA and ESPN.
That's right. It's a welfare program of the NBA and ESPN. That's who funds it and has kept it alive. Until Caitlin Clark came along, nobody watched or cared about the WNBA, even though ESPN has spent millions and millions of dollars trying to turn it into a big spectator sport. The WNBA subsidizes it to pay player salaries because no one attends the games. And then Caitlin Clark comes into the league. This is her 3rd season, and started selling out arenas because she's far and away the best player that's ever played the game of basketball, who is a woman. And people appreciate that. So anytime she was coming to Washington or Seattle or wherever their team was playing, suddenly there was a sellout. The first sellout and only sellout those teams would have all season, and all of her home games sell out. And the response of the league has been to let the rest of the teams just beat the hell out of her every game without calling fouls on them. I mean, it's incredible, the resentment. But why? Because she's white and she's not a lesbian, and she's far and away better basketball player than anyone else.
It's thuggish, ghetto
resentment
behavior
and jealousy. Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody's going to get seriously hurt. That clothesline thing, though, I love the fact that the Attorney General for the state of Florida said, you do that here, you're going to be arrested.
Well, and that really should happen. I mean, it's not just in the WNBA. You see fouls like that in the NBA too. Yeah. These players are in. I mean, Cunningham was going up. She was off her feet going up for a layup. This other player swoops in and hits her across the neck and face with her left arm. Makes no effort to block the shot. She just came in with a clear intent to hurt her. And so it's an incredibly vulnerable position. She could have suffered a major injury very easily on that play. Well, if you do that on the street, chances are decent that you're going to get arrested and charged with assault and battery, because that's what it is.
Yes.
And I don't understand why we tolerate it from a law enforcement perspective, on a football field or on the basketball court or anywhere else. You got to police this stuff. It's clear intent to harm.
Absolutely
And,
is.
Yeah. So anyway,
well,
it's a joke of a league. It's a garbage league run by garbage people.
I quoted you directly on the morning show today. I read from the blog, and it's in this one that you see if you're watching on YouTube, about the beautiful woman who just wants to shoot some hoops. It was brilliant.
That's all she
David.
wants to do.
Absolutely brilliant. Well, we got a couple of minutes left. We could talk baseball.
Good. I don't really want to. Dodgers have lost 8 of 9. What have the Yankees done?
Yeah, a little traffic update. I-85 northbound exits mile marker like 26 to 35, pretty much dead still. So if you're heading out of town, heading towards Auburn, you might want to take a different route.
Wow, that's a big shutdown.
It's 9 miles. Ooh.
Yeah, the Dodgers have had a little tailspin lately. But, it looks like the guy who has a chance to unseat Shohei Ohtani as the National League MVP is Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs.
Oh, yeah, boy. He's having a hell of a season.
He really is. And Shohei's been great, as always, but not quite as spectacular with the numbers. Now the pitching, he's had to lay off that. They're not even sure if they're going to – that may be why they wanted Skubal, so they wouldn't have to use Shohei. But, trade deadline is over. The Yankees couldn't hit a bull in the butt with a bass fiddle. They exploded for 4 runs one game recently, and I thought, wow, that's a heck of an offensive display there. Field of Dream game is Thursday night.
Nice.
I think it's the Phillies and Twins. It's going to be on Netflix. And that was fun. I remember the first one with the Yankees and White Sox. That was truly a wonderful game to watch. And one of the more famous baseball diamonds in America, the Iowa Cornfield, where the movie. And by the
Pretty
way,
amazing.
they're bringing in Kevin Costner to do color commentary. So you're guaranteed to be anesthetized into a coma with the exciting Kevin Costner on doing the color commentary. David, the time with you goes by so quickly. We will have you back on Thursday, correct?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Looking forward to it. I'll try to be more upbeat.
No, it's the truth. I mean, I am just hoping more and more people will wake up. Otherwise, we'll be doing this show underground.
Yeah, or not at all. I mean, that's what you'll end up having to do, yeah.
Anyway, folks, reach out and subscribe to David Blackman. DavidBlackman.substack.com is the place to do that. And for energy insights you won't get anywhere else from a man who spent his career in the business, Blackman.substack.com. David, we're forever grateful for your help, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Y'all have a great week.
Okay. It is 5 o'clock on News Talk 93.1 FM. Brett McDonald joining us. It was kind of a meh day in the market. He'll explain why that was the case. And later on this hour at 5:35, the Movie Maven's going to join us.
It's been a while.
We'll see if we can find you some distracting entertainment alternatives from some of the things that have been so dismal. One thing that, for me, it was a hard lesson to learn. There's just a lot of things in life that we can't control. Among other things, people, places, and things, and interest rates. So buying a house isn't always about when the lowest rate is available. It's when you're ready. But maybe you're not sure. How do you determine when you're ready? How do you determine what you're willing to spend and be comfortable with? This is why you should partner up with Alabama Home Mortgage. What an incredible group of folks with years and years of experience, not just in getting mortgages done and closing on homes, but in counseling people with their incredible wisdom. I'd like to see mortgage rates start dropping, and maybe they will, but maybe they won't. What's the best option for you to continue renting or leasing a home or to get ready to buy? These are the kinds of questions you can take to them, because they want you to buy a house and get a mortgage from them when the timing is just right for you. And they'll be honest. I mean, they don't want to push somebody into a situation where the timing may not just be that good. But, by the way, if you're looking into a VA mortgage, it's one of the few aspects of the VA, man, because I've been working with somebody who's dealing with them on a medical issue, and it's been a nightmare for them. But the VA mortgage program is one of the strongest home financing options available, offering benefits like no down, 100% cash out refis. The thing is, stay away from 800 numbers and giant corporations that aren't local. Stay local. Stay with people that are there for you, people you will get to know who will absolutely look out for your best interest. Alabama Home Mortgage. Reach out at 567-4223, 567-4223. They're an equal housing lender. Their NMLS number is 1586368. Kim and Madeline, that is one incredible team of people over there, and you'll be glad you worked with them. Traffic, Wall Street Business, SRN News, all next.
We are really busy all over the area, and if you're on I-85 southbound, coming up on Ann Street, just past that, and Mulberry, we've got an accident. They have those folks off on the right side of the road. All lanes are open, and we are busy everywhere. Interstates, Boulevards, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka reporting light to mostly moderate traffic. Is that cute puppy leaving presents all over your house? Call Vicky at Invisible Fence and ask about their indoor system. Problem solved. Call 334-265-2585. Buckle up. Wendell J. Montgomery Skywatch Traffic.
With an SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bob Agnew. There's been another recall by Taylor Farms.
Taylor Fresh Foods, the parent company of Taylor Farms, is voluntarily recalling more products that include jalapenos because of worries about a possible salmonella contamination. Weeks after recalling iceberg lettuce, a grower in Sinaloa, Mexico, a supplier to Host Citrus Distributors, was identified as a potential source in the new salmonella outbreak. Taylor says they are no longer sourcing products from that farmer. The list of recalled products was distributed by Taylor Farms in multiple states.
That is Lisa Dwyer reporting. The U.S. stock market edged downward. Foods might reopen and get the global flow of crude oil going. 1 minute.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
Attention River Region business owners. Local counties are now inspecting and enforcing backflow prevention requirements. Headley Plumbing is fully certified to install, repair, and test backflow preventers, helping you stay compliant and avoid costly violations. We've been serving the River Region for decades with dependable professional service you can trust. No membership, no contract, just fair, reliable service. Call Headley Plumbing at 285-3667 or visit headleyplumbing.com. In our business, a flush beats a full house.
Headley Metal Buildings has been your source for quality metal buildings in the River Region since 2007. Carports up to 24 feet wide, RV covers, storage buildings, even a sturdy metal barn up to 54 feet wide. Your structure can be customized, installed on level ground, and comes with a 20-year warranty. Let Headley Metal Buildings help you find the perfect solution. Financing available. Call 285-3667 for details or find Headley Metal Buildings on Facebook.
In August, buy any large pizza at Pizza Perfect and get any medium pizza for just $2. Pizza Perfect's buffet includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. $12 for seniors, first responders, and military. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza Perfect is also available for pickup and delivery. Any medium pizza is just $2 with the purchase of a large at Pizza Perfect on Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
Here's your 507.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake has struck western Colombia, killing at least 111 people and damaging hundreds of buildings. President Abelardo de la Espriella declared an emergency to expedite funding for recovery. The quake hit the remote Choco region on Monday and was felt as far as Bogota. President Trump has signed an executive order that calls for spacing out childhood vaccines into separate medical visits and splitting the combined measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine into 3 different shots. Trump has long suspected that the number of timings of vaccines could play a role in autism spectrum disorder. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 61 points, the Nasdaq dropped 85. More details at srnnews.com.
Hey, I'm Brant, and her name is Sherry.
Hello.
She's a friend of mine whom we were just praying for because of a surgery she just went through.
Yes, and I am very happy about something you actually talk about all the time, which is
Medi-Share.
That is right.
Yeah. So what was your experience like with Medi-Share and the healthcare bills?
Honestly, Brant, seamless. And what a blessing that is when you're already nervous about a health issue, which I was.
Yeah.
Members shared my expenses. There were 0 problems. And let me tell you, having people pray with you when you call in with your need, that is just...
It is refreshing.
Yes, that's what it is.
So I keep telling people love Medi-Share, and they love saving tons of money, too. The typical family can save $500 a month.
I am very thankful for Medi-Share. It is so different, and I mean different in a very, very good way.
It is good different. Call now. They're easy to talk to, and you can get a price within 2 minutes. Call 844-45-BIBLE. That's 844-45-BIBLE. 844-45-BIBLE.
Mr. Electric presents the most electrifying story of the day. For service, installation, and upfront pricing, call Mr. Electric at 245-1566. Here with today's high voltage news, it's Greg Budell.
Well, actually, Dr. Fauci has put himself back in the headlines again this afternoon after we watched him lie his ass off last week, knowing that he lied his ass off while he was the director of the National Institute of Health. Today, it comes out in new texts that have been released that he was very concerned that the COVID shot could end up with miscarriages. But he never said anything while he was in a position to do it. And I'm telling you, we hear the word reparations. Americans deserve reparations for the damages that son of a bitch inflicted. Sorry. That's the best thing I can call him. And there's going to be more. Rand Paul, great job making everybody aware of what a fraud this is. And keep in mind the people he's aligned with. They're the same people that are in the DSA and everything. It's never about you, what's best for your health, what's best for the country. The damage that man did, I know we're $40 trillion in debt. And if we could stop wasting money at the rate of $1 trillion a year, maybe we could close that gap. But there should be a fund for people. And the first one, we talked about him earlier, the guy with the, he had opened a putt-putt. It was this morning we talked about it. Opened a putt-putt in Wetumpka, because the one in Prattville had closed. Everybody loves those places.
Yeah.
And it opened right at the onset of COVID when they were shutting everything down. And for some reason, a putt-putt outdoors was determined to be too dangerous to operate. I always feel such a sense of shame that we all goose-stepped along with that. Well, that's too bad. No, somebody like that should get reimbursed for at least their investment, for at least trying. And in the meantime, oh, you're pregnant? Well, you may want to not get the jab because it could lead to miscarriages. But, what you don't know can't hurt you, right? This is the kind of stuff that's going to be coming out in the days ahead. And that's big news. Mr. Electric is the go-to team. I've used them so many times over the years. I don't tell you or suggest to you that you tried this service or that, like Robbie's Heating and Air Conditioning. These are people I use. I have the receipts. I pay them. I don't get anything for free. So when I call Mr. Electric, I get the same rate anybody else does. But I call them, yeah, they're a sponsor, and I'm always going to use a sponsor first because they're really good at what they do. It's that simple. You may not need them today, but you may be considering putting an outdoor outlet in or having something rewired. Maybe, I know some people like to have a second refrigerator. That requires a special outlet. Or it could be something is not acting the way it should, and that could be an electrically caused issue. Whatever the case, it's not something you want to let linger or get worse. So reach out at 833-773-8227, or better yet, to see all the services they offer involving electricity, and it's everything. Visit them online at MrElectric.com. Outstanding company, top-notch professional people, and will do a great job for you. MrElectric.com. Brett McDonald in 2 minutes after Rich's weather. By the way, let me take a quick look, see if there's anything out there that looks like rain.
I don't think it's going to rain all week here.
Oh, God, don't tell me that.
Yeah. Low
94
chances.
with a heat index of 105. The radar, couple of piddly green dots south of the metro area, and that is it. This is getting monotonous. We'll talk to Rich about it in the morning, 5:13.
Do you suffer every time you try to wear good-looking shoes, but you don't want to wear ugly shoes just because they're comfortable? The Good Feet store wants to help you wear heels, boots, and dress shoes again in comfort.
We're located at 7341 East Chase Parkway in the shops at East Chase. Now hiring.
Great, another storm, another leak. I need Capital City Roofing.
Did somebody say Capital City Roofing?
Whoa, how did you get in my attic?
I have a sixth sense for shingle trouble. A leaky roof is stressful, but getting it fixed shouldn't be. From storm repairs to full replacements, Capital City Roofing makes the process simple, honest, and dependable.
Great, but can you get down from there?
I'm on it.
Call 334-277-3311 or visit CapitalCityRoofing.com. Capital City Roofing. Roofs built right, relationships built to last.
Beyond the Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Shane Butler. Growing up in Elmore County.
I grew up here. I lived here as a kid. I experienced the weather here. So I have knowledge that goes way back. You know, I experienced my first tornado as a kid. I was probably about 11 years old and eclectic. Writing that out and experiencing that really gave me the passion about weather. We made it through it, and it gave me an experience that I'll carry in a lifetime.
Shane Butler, part of the Action 8 Weather Team, your weather authority.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Victoryland.
Win a BMW X7 or your share of $25,000 in free play during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25,000 free play giveaway. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too.
Rich Thomas Weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Back to school shopping starts now, and ASC Credit Union has you covered. Our back to school loan helps you pay for supplies, laptops, clothes, and more. Stop by your local ASC branch or apply today at yourasccu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers.
A couple of things, some condolences in order. First of all, for our own Jessie Lynn, whose beloved godmother passed away this morning. Jessie, our thoughts are with you. And Gail Royal from Down the Street Cafe, notoriety, passed away. I just saw a post on Facebook from her daughter, and the Down the Street Cafe is open. And I can't think of a better way to remember Gail than to visit the Down the Street. Went there quite a few times when I was newer here, and I don't know, things, we got Baumhauers and so forth, but so many friends, and there are so many people that want to help. there was a fundraiser set up for her this coming Saturday, and that is still happening. Let me see while we're waiting for Brand if I can't get some details from my buddy, Mr. Don Cowden.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Vicky from Vicky's Lunch Van, she passed away from a battle with cancer, and same with Gail. And these are kind of iconic Montgomery places. So hopefully the families can keep the joints going.
All right, so this is going to be taking place Friday, the 14th of this week, from 6 to 9 o'clock at Gail's Down the Street Cafe. Got Sonny Greer and Andy Norman, couple of all-stars, to perform. $10 entry fee, and no doubt donations will help defray some of the final expenses for Gail. So we hope, I may stop by there Friday myself on the way home. So these losses, they always make you sad. And down the street, I've heard Rich and others who were here long before me talk about some of the legends that have come and gone, but the down the street is still a legend, and it's still here, and it's still open tonight for dinner. Right now, we join just ahead of the movie Maven at 5:35, Mr. Right on the Money, and that's Brand McDonald from Waverly Advisors. How are you, sir?
Greg, hey, buddy. I'm doing great. Kind of a crazy Monday all the way around, but all in all, doing well. How about you?
I'm good. We've had a lot of heavy conversations this afternoon about politics and what's some of the lunacy going on. Market seemed to be kind of flat today. What's your take on the day's bigger stories?
So a few things. First of all, the market in general has had a pretty decent run. It's been largely driven by earnings growth. And then if you connect the dots, a lot of that is connected back to technology and the massive amount of investment that we see going on in artificial intelligence. And remember, we've talked about this quite a bit. A lot of that money is coming from other technology firms who are trying to increase their AI exposure. And so it's sort of that rising waters lifting all boats. You look at valuations. Certainly the market is not cheap. That's for sure. I mean, no question about that. But then you look at the market activity this week, and we have to talk about, I think the first thing is Friday's jobs report, which came in really, really bad. It was a super weak report, way worse than expected. If you lift the hood and we take a deeper dive on the numbers, the first thing that I think jumps out is that private sector growth is really not there. You look at wages and wage growth, it was very low, up 0.1% from what I remember, which in some ways is good, in other ways not so good. We talked an awful lot last week about really wanting to.
Brent,
report.
You dropped out there for a second. Could you go rewind about 20 seconds that we missed? Your phone went dead.
I just passed the new Hyundai dealership on Carmichael. It cuts out on me every single time. But anyway,
why is that happening? What
crazy.
are they transmitting from there that's blocking cell phones? That's weird.
I don't know, but it's not just me. A number of people I know complain about that very same thing. But anyway, so back to jobs. The jobs numbers, as we were discussing, pretty weak. Last week we talked a lot about looking at wage inflation and really what did wages do. They were pretty weak as well. And I was just simply saying, in some ways, that's a good thing. In other ways, it's not such a good thing. It was up 0.1%. The reason we wanted to focus on it was because of wage inflation and that what we call push-through inflation from higher wages or competition for labor, especially because we've seen in the most recent reports on jobs the last several months, the number of workers in the workforce is getting lower and lower and lower. So that denominator is shrinking, which is what's keeping the unemployment rate down. The last thing I guess you could say that that really does make sense. And I've read that this wasn't an original idea, but I've read some other economists who I greatly respect. And that is that, immigration numbers have been going down dramatically. And so when you look under Biden, we all know that story, millions and millions and millions of immigrants that were accounting for some of those jobs numbers. And since the deportation, those numbers have been going down. So that could be partly what we're seeing begin to show up in some of these jobs numbers. And that's not me making a statement on whether deportation is right or wrong or good or bad. I'm just simply stating what might be a fact. So there's that. The other big thing, too, in terms of market action, we've got CPI due out Wednesday, a consumer price index. And so I think the market on the heels of that jobs number is really going to be locked in again on this number. And listen, I want to really take just a second here and explain this in a little more detail, because part of what's going on here, you have a massive concern over the potential for inflation, even if you strip out oil and energy prices, which we know have been quite volatile because of the war in Iran. But more importantly, I think, too, is this, and we've talked about this for the last couple of years, is this yen-dollar carry trade that continues to rear its head. Now, last week, we got data on a pretty shocking series of events where Scott Bessent went into the open market. This is the Treasury Secretary, and got his hands on billions and billions of euros in order to go out and buy the yen to prop up the yen. This was not a small thing. This was a massive thing. The only reason that he would be doing that is because they have a lot of concern about what's happening with the yen and the dollar relationship. Keep in mind, what we're talking about here is a much stronger yen that results in those people who were short yen, long dollars, now having to unwind the carry trade and cover their shorts. And when you do that, they have to come up with cash. The number one place they get cash is by selling treasuries, U.S. treasuries. And so if you see a wall of selling in U.S. treasuries in an uncontrolled way, this is the key part of this, an uncontrolled way, then you start to see margin calls, and this is a highly leveraged trade, institutional trade that's been put on for 15, 20 years. And so if that unwinds and treasury yields spike, that could become a major problem. And so far, since we've been talking about this over the last 18 months, between the Federal Reserve, the U.S. Treasury Department, and the Bank of Japan, they've been able to kind of control this situation. But it got way out of hand last week. Bessent had to step in and intervene in a major, major way. That raised eyebrows everywhere. And I suspect that we're probably going to see some more of that, because already over the weekend, last night when Japan started trading, and then today, we saw nearly half of the progress that Bessent made has gone away, meaning that thing is now going against us again, and that's not such a good thing. So, inflation report, higher bond yields, the Iranian situation. I also will tell you, this is just my opinion, I think this is another reason why Trump really wants this Iranian thing over. There are some issues that are brewing in the background, and maybe they get this thing under control. But I'm telling you, this is a humongous yen-dollar carry trade. We've been preaching on this for 2 years. I think I even told you one time, Greg, that there was one thing that kept me up at night. It was this, and they've been able to keep it under control. But up until here recently, it's getting kind of nasty. So we're watching that probably more than anything, notwithstanding the CPI this week, which all traders want to see, because that could hit the yield curve in a different sort of way. So a lot to digest, I know.
No, we love the way you get us behind the numbers and the backstory. That's what we're here for, and you do a great job, man. We really appreciate it. And we will talk again
Yeah,
tomorrow.
you got it, buddy. You got it.
Take care, my
We sure
friend.
will. And y'all have a great afternoon and evening.
You too.
All right.
Brett McDonald from Waverly Advisors.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
As long as we're handing out condolences to those who lost their jobs at Cumulus today. You know, I knew 30 years ago, and this is one you can thank the Clintons for, when they deregulated radio the third and final time and allowed massive conglomerates with no limits on ownership, that local radio over time was just going to be continually eroded. And what little was left that was not Blue Water Broadcasting was hit again today. Major delay among those who were terminated by a company who could care less about you or this town. No local presence. It's really sad, because part of the fun in doing this for me, and I've been doing it a lot longer than I'd like to admit, is the competition. You know, even when you're all pulling in the same direction, you want to win. This is a sport in a unique sort of way. And man, in Florida, in Miami, I mean, a win there was a really, that could make you a lot of money. And it's just so sad to see this change, because ultimately what's going to save radio as people have more and more options is local. That's the one thing we can do better than anybody else, whether it's news, weather. We got Rich Thomas here. We got people who have lived here their entire lives. Skipper, who knows this area like the back of his hand. And yet they seem to be hell-bent for leather on destroying the one thing that can save them. So I have great sympathy for those who lost their jobs. That should not happen. It's been pared down enough. But my thoughts are with them today, too. I know what that's like, and it's not easy, especially in a contracting business where opportunities are going to be tough to come by. But I hope you land on your feet. Anyway, why don't we get the Movie Maven. We need some entertainment options.
Yeah.
So the Movie Maven is waiting in the wings, and we'll talk to her in about 5 minutes. Here is our very local Skipper with traffic, our very local Sky with news next.
Well, it's one of those busy afternoons in Montgomery. East-South Boulevard loaded up, as well as I-65 and 85 at the interchange. 85 northbound Bell to Taylor to Chantilly. Very busy, slow traffic there. I-65 northbound, same thing. Busy conditions. Boulevards are busy. No real issues, though, anywhere at the moment except that busy traffic. We will keep you updated. At McKenna Nissan, you can save up to $6,000 off Pathfinders and up to $5,000 on Rogues. At the lowest tax rates in Alabama, and it's worth the drive. McKenna Nissan, exit 212 off I-65 in Clanton. Buckle up with the Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
News is brought to you by Bath Innovations. Call Bath Innovations today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. Alabama voters will go to the polls tomorrow for a special primary election. The primary is for Alabama's United States House races in Districts 1, 2, 6, and 7. District 2 covers Lowndes, Macon, Montgomery, and parts of Elmore County. There will be no runoff in these races. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday. A fugitive from Arizona has been captured in Elmore County. Dion Vaughns was taken into custody near the intersection of Highway 143 and Marion Spillway Road. Agents with the Department of Corrections K-9 Division assisted the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force in the arrest. Barnes was wanted on an outstanding aggravated assault warrant in Mesa, Arizona. Health officials are urging beachgoers to take precautions during a surge in infections from a flesh-eating bacteria. Florida has reported 14 Vibrio vulnificus cases and 2 deaths so far this year. Vibrio bacteria can enter the body through unhealed cuts and scrapes, recent piercings, tattoos, and surgical incisions. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
Bath Innovations of Alabama can replace your old bathtub with a low-step shower featuring built-in seating, secure grab bars, and slip-resistant flooring, often installed in as little as 1 day. Call Bath Innovations of Alabama today to schedule your free in-home consultation.
This is not headline news. Warner Brothers delayed the release of The Batman 2 until 2028, and the release of Supergirl 2 until never. France is planning to ban social media for children under 15. However, French kids under 15 will still be able to legally smoke cigarettes and drink bottles of wine. Servers in San Diego were recognized as the friendliest in America. One server in LA was recognized as the Wheeze from MTV. CVS Pharmacy will begin filling pet prescriptions. As if there weren't already enough crazy cat ladies waiting in line. This is not headline news.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bell's cleaning service get your home in order. Families in the River region trust Southern Bell's because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Maybe you're doing well in sales, but you're ready for something bigger. At Blue Water Broadcasting, you'll help local businesses grow with customized marketing campaigns that combine the reach of 7 radio stations with powerful digital solutions. We're looking for someone who enjoys meeting people, earning their trust, and delivering results. If you're driven, professional, and ready to build a career, not just another sales job, we should talk. Visit BlueWaterBroadcasting.com and send me your resume today. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Time for the Movie Maven. Miss Murray's Movie Minute brought to you by AMS Studios. Relax, refresh, renew with AMS Studios, 95 Lightwood Road in Deatsville, AMSStudioMedspa.com, or call 782-9711. We now welcome the Movie Maven, Ellen Murray. Good afternoon.
Hey.
Hey. Before we start, though, we just got a traffic blurb. Tom?
Yeah, I-85 northbound, right before Tuskegee parking lot. So no movement for about the last half an hour.
Both directions, right?
Just northbound.
Oh, just northbound.
Just,
okay.
yeah.
So if you have big plans to travel to Auburn tonight, be ready for delays. So, been a while since we've had a chance to chat. When I heard about the shards, I thought, well, you got to be careful with glass because those can be painful. Something on Hulu, and tell us about this. It's a series or a movie?
It's a series. It's based on a novel written by Bret Easton Ellis, who also wrote American Psycho, among other things. And it's semi-biographical, but also totally fictional. It's set in 1981, and it's about these rich kids in L.A., and the background setting is that there's this serial killer going around kidnapping and killing teenagers. So there's this heightened fear, but they're all just like rich kids with ennui trying to get through high school so they can get on with their lives. It's interesting.
And that's on Hulu.
It is, and let me also mention that it's starring a bunch of Nepo babies, including Kai Gerber, who is the daughter of Cindy Crawford, who is the fitting image. She looks exactly like her. And Homer Gere, who is the son of Richard Gere, which is fun because those two used to be married, Cindy Crawford and Richard Gere. They were a hot item back in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember
80s
that.
and 90s. Yeah, so these two are not actually related because Kaya came from Cindy and her ex-husband, and Homer came from Richard and his next wife. So they're
And then somewhere in between all of that, there was some story about Richard and gerbils, but we don't want to go there.
Poor guy. That's the only thing that anyone will remember him for.
Yeah, well, so I bullied the movie Maven.
Oh.
She's very young. So every generation has its icons and its must-sees and all that. So trying to think of movies that stand up well over time. So I have been, I think for almost a year, suggesting she watch The Sting, which I believe was the best picture in '73. It's not only a movie about criminals and underworld people stinging each other, but they sting the audience in this movie as well on multiple occasions, and I thought it would be a fun watch. So tell me, did I overhype it? Did it live up to it? Did you enjoy it? I want the full scoop.
I did enjoy it. I liked that it had two handsome leading men that were both good guys but bad guys.
Yeah.
I mean, you liked them, you wanted to succeed, but they were criminals. They're con men.
Yeah.
And I liked the setting of 1930s Chicago and getting a feel for like what the gang situation was like there and the whole money laundering thing and how everybody's cooking the books left and right and taking their piece of it. So, I mean, it's not probably too far off from what's happening today in government.
Yeah. The performance of Robert Shaw, though, I think, in addition to the two handsome leading men, I thought Robert Shaw really played the role of the crime boss well. He was, I mean, just...
He did. He was good. You hated him perfectly.
Yeah, his performance can't be overlooked, and they had a good supporting cast. The guy that played the dandy, oh, God, he was in a great character actor. He just passed away not too long ago. Jay Gould, I think his name is. He was the one that was the setup that, did all the fixes and stuff. Some great supporting cast. And Charles Durning, who I actually saw on Broadway with Kathleen Turner in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which I didn't really enjoy. He's also very good in that movie, as dislikable as Jay Gould is likable. And I think so. I'm glad that if I was going to pressure you into seeing something that's BYT before your time, that it worked out well for you.
Like, I've got the modern ADD mindset of, like, it was hard for me to sit still it was 2 hours and 10 minutes-ish.
Yes.
And I shouldn't have this problem, but I do. Like, I like my 30-minute, 40-minute shows, so sitting and watching it for 2 hours and something was a little challenging.
Look, we're talking about a movie before you went on your vacation that I thought could have been edited from whatever it was to an hour and 40 minutes. The Sting does take time to set everything up. It's very deliberate, but I don't know that I could edit much out of that movie either.
No, you really couldn't. And it was well worth the watch. I mean, I don't understand why Hollywood's trending towards these 3-hour movies when people don't have attention span for that.
I agree. I totally agree. 90 minutes. In fact, there was a survey not long ago, moviegoers. They said 90 minutes, that's fine. I can handle that. I totally agree. Although I just recently watched Oppenheimer, and I didn't leave my seat, and I was at home. I
That's a
could have
great
gotten
flick.
up anytime I wanted, hit the pause button. That's how well done that movie was. What about Sterling Point on Prime? What is that? Series?
Well, it's funny that I can't sit still for a 2-hour movie, but I sat here for 6 hours in a row of binging this show. No, it's a series. It's 8 episodes, and it's on, Amazon Prime, which, just so many commercials. Why are we paying for Prime when you still have to watch a commercial every 5 minutes?
There is that.
Yeah, well, so this is another teenage drama. They're my favorites. Coming of age. These twins, boy and girl twins, find out that their estranged grandfather has left them an inheritance of an island in Canada. And so the girl goes up there to check it out, and she meets some people, and she finds out some secrets, and everybody's been hiding secrets from them their whole life. So these little 18-year-old kids are shattered to the core by what they find out there. It kept me glued to my seat, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I did get up and pause it and have snacks and stuff, but I was really sort of enthralled. Saturday night, I watched it till like 2 a.m. and then I finished it on Sunday.
All right, I know from time to time you'd like to talk about what's happening at the Capri. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I just found out that our council person, Andrew Szymanski, who I met on the 4th of July, very nice guy, is offering a free showing of Casino, which is the Sharon Stone, Robert De Niro movie from 1995, and it's going to be on this Wednesday at 7, and it's free. You just have to sign up for the free tickets, because obviously they don't want people to just show up. But when I checked earlier today, there was still 150 free tickets left for giveaways. So check it out if you're not.
I saw that
once.
once.
Or doing anything else.
I saw that once. It was enough.
You know, it's funny. I used to live in Cloverdale, and I've never been to the Capri to see a show.
I finally got there just a couple of years ago for the first time, and it's really a cool theater. It's old school.
That's awesome.
The design and everything.
Yeah.
Saw an Edgar Allan Poe presentation there one night that was a lot of fun for the people in attendance and for the actors. So it's a great local asset.
They've really cleaned up that street too. It used to be the barbecue place and El Rey Burrito Lounge, but the other side, minus the shoe refinishing place, was just kind of dead, and now it seems like it's pretty cleaned up.
It is. So and parking options are pretty plentiful compared to where they were before too. I mean, you won't have more than the block of a walk to get to the theater. So that's at the Capri Casino, and that's this Wednesday, the 12th, at 7 p.m. Reserve free tickets at the Capri website. So once again, The Shards on Hulu. That's a recommend.
Shards, yes. And it's unfortunately only coming out like once a week, but they're doing 2 at a time, so the next 2 will come out on Wednesday.
The Sting is still great. Glad to hear that. Sterling Point on Prime. And then, of course, the showing of Casino at the Capri Theater. Thank you, Miss Murray.
Thank you.
I can't wait to follow up with you on something you recommended recently called Furious. We were actually talking about that on the morning show today, too. That is some seriously dark. You know what brought it up? It's the fact that in that movie, they use a woman for a specific character who is severely impacted by muscular dystrophy. She plays a role in this story winding around this really crazy young woman who is it's a good story. It's a really good story, but that was something I'd never seen in a movie before. It's a real actress. So we will get back to that one too and more, and thank you for your time this afternoon.
Okay. Thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Cheers.
Off to the traffic dungeon with the latest on the big mess on northbound 85.
Well, around the Montgomery area, we are still just very busy everywhere. Interstates, boulevards, I-65 and 85, very busy right now. Same in Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka. We do have this for you if you are headed out of Montgomery on I-85 northbound. Out past Tallahassee, we've got a major accident northbound lanes, slowing traffic down to a crawl. Expect delays if you're headed to Tuskegee or Auburn. Imagine graduating high school with your college degree already in your hand. That's the power of early college at Trenton State Community College. No debt, no delay, just a college degree. Go to trentomstate.edu for more information. Buckle up, Little Jim Montgomery Skywatch traffic.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. How to find the right mortgage lender. Most of all single-family sales involve obtaining a mortgage loan to finance the sale. How do you know you have the right lender? First, always use a local lender. There is no out-of-state lender that can match the services and the interest prices your local lender can provide to you here. We have many good quality lenders to choose from here in the River Region. Some guidelines for a buyer would be, 1, can I meet face-to-face with the lender, get to know that person before I turn over all my personal information to a complete stranger? Next, depending on your needs and price range, try to get more than one option with financing to choose from. Very important to know what are all the closing costs and prepaid costs up front so I can make an informed decision on which program to use. For help with a list of top lenders, call Bo Goodson for help. Bo Goodson, 221-2883 at the Goodson Group.
Tired of spending your weekends fighting weeds, patchy grass, and a mower that never starts? Mosley Lawn Pros is the solution. They handle residential and commercial lawn maintenance, landscaping, cleanups, and property care so you don't have to. They show up on time, do the job right, and leave your lawn looking sharp every time. Stop stressing over your yard and start loving it. When it comes to your lawn, call the crew your neighbors and local businesses trust. One call, one crew, problem solved. Mosley Lawn Pros, built on hard work, driven by quality. Find them today on Facebook or Google.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Ernest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Ernest, 334-279-7431. Ernest Financial, LLC.
Rich Thomas weather.
It's a pretty typical summertime evening forecast with a few random storms here and there, but few and far between. Overnight low temperature tonight in the mid-70s. Tomorrow, even more schools get underway. Expect a sun and cloud mix with a high temperature tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and through the end of the week, generally in the mid-90s with a daily heat index between 100 and 105. Spotty, random, scattered showers and storms in the afternoon and evening hours each day. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.